Hello, and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Paula, and today I'm talking about time and how everyone tells me they have so little time and how do they manage their time. And hopefully, I'm going to give you a few hints and tips and discuss this a bit more in this podcast. So, if you're struggling with time management, you really need to listen to this. I'll see you over at the show.
As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome to this week's podcast. I hope you have all been well. Now, the conversations I've been having recently have been all about time. People having no time to work on their business. People having no time to do something new in their business. Some people having no time to look for staff, or people not managing their time so well, so they're not getting the most out of the time they do have. So I thought it'd be quite an apt conversation to have with you on the podcast, because this is probably a problem for many. I know it's a problem for myself. In my own personal business life, time management is a huge issue for me, mainly because I have two businesses that I'm, 100% actively involved with. I've recently had a number of staff leave for various reasons. So essentially things are changing a little bit in both businesses. And that means the pressure is on for me really to take on more, manage my time better. So it is a timely, excuse the pun, timely podcast. So time management. So it was quite interesting because I thought I'm going to Google exactly what time management means in layman's terms. And the definition of time management that came up is the planning and exercising conscious control of time spent on specific activities, especially to increase effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity. What a mouthful. That was Wikipedia. But actually, it's quite correct, because we don't spend enough time planning our time in order to maximize our effectiveness and productivity. So many of us go into our weeks, our months, planning to get stuff done, and things do not happen as they seem. I mean, my whole week has not gone to plan this week in TLC at all. So I 100% agree with this, because I have allowed myself to get distracted and to be pulled off in different areas, because other parts of the business and the other business, the landscape business, has pulled me back into there as well. So I've allowed myself to get pulled in different ways, which means I haven't, at this point in the week, on the Wednesday, have not achieved exactly what I wanted to have achieved by this point in the week. Also have quite a lot of time pressure at the moment, because many of you do know, but some of you don't, but Mia is leaving me on Friday. So I am now a lone ranger in TLC for the moment, which is going to be interesting. But also it means that I'm going to have to start planning my time way more efficiently and start really focusing on time management tools that can help me become more effective with my time, become more efficient with my time, and become more productive with the time I have, because we can't get more hours in the day. That's a fact. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be working all hours at night either, when I'm meant to be spending time with my family. And I certainly don't want to be working weekends again. I did that back in my teens when I had to work in retail, and I mean, great experience, don't get me wrong. However, I worked weekends for many years to support my studies at college and university. And I really don't want to go back to that at nearly 40 years old. So I kind of am trying to keep my weekends free from work. So, and, I would urge you to think about that for you guys too. If you have got family and you do want that downtime, even if you don't have a family, doesn't really matter. I think you should be thinking about having some downtime for you. So looking on how we can be more effective with our time management, there's a couple of things I want to bring up. So number one is planning and organization. Now, like I said, I've tried to plan my week, but I've planned it in such a way that it's unrealistic. And I think that's something that we've got to be mindful of. Let's rewind a bit. The ultimate time management acronym is SMART. So this is for goal setting as well: smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. That's been stuck in my head since I did a management course when I was about 22 years old or something ridiculous. So it's been in my head for many years. But essentially, when you're planning and organizing your time, you have to bear in mind that it has to be realistic. Now, as you guys know, I have 2 children, so they also have, not only, I know they're at school for the day, but they have lots of after school activities. And I also want to fit in gym time, because for me, that's my ultimate me time. And that's a non-negotiable for me. I will not give up my gym sessions. So I have to manage my time around that as well. Now, unfortunately, when you have lots to do, so I expect sometimes I feel quite overwhelmed at times, particularly like this week where we've got the new course launching on Monday from the ground up, by the way, go and check that out, link in the show notes. But essentially, I've got the course starting on Monday, which I'm really excited about, delivering with Kate. However, I've also got stuff to prepare for that. We've got the normal TLC stuff. We've got our done for you clients that we're doing their social media. I've got Mia leaving on Friday. So actually, my task list is quite large at the moment, and it can feel quite overwhelming. And therefore, I've planned my week completely unrealistically, particularly as this is the first week back at school as well. So it's the first week back into a routine, which, if you're like me, I got used to having lay-ins, and now I'm back at getting up at the crack of dawn, which is a struggle. And it's a struggle for the children as well. So we're all struggling with that. So my planning and organization this week was poor, because I actually thought I could get way more done than I've actually been able to. So bear that in mind when you are planning your week. Now, I always try and sit down every evening and just spend 10 minutes on planning the next day. And on a Sunday, I tend to sit down and plan the rest of the week very loosely, because I know things can change. In landscaping particularly, if I have to work with my husband, who runs the landscaping team and the side of the business mainly, if I need to do any work with him on that business, then that can change. So we can book it in for one day and it will flip to another based on weather and staff. So you guys will understand that more so than me. In fact, it's the same as me, because this constantly is an issue when you're trying to plan and organize your time. So you have to be quite flexible as well in this industry. So I try and do that on a Sunday. But what I'm going to try and do going forward is be way more realistic on how long things take, and also the level of distractions that you're allowing into your life. And that brings me on to number 2. Well, actually, on the plan and organization side, if you do want some help with that, we do have the productivity planner, which is a basic planning tool that you can use in your business. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can access that. It's completely free. So whether you remember or not, go and check that out. That might help you to plan your week and your following day. So maybe just spend, like me, 10 minutes at the end of each day planning the following day, and on a Sunday planning the following week. But bear in mind the SMART acronym, where it has to be realistic and also timely, and the fact that you will have deadlines for certain things. My other thing I want to talk to you about is then, once you've planned and organized your day, your week, your life, you then need to prioritize, because prioritization is key. Obviously, you'll have deadlines for certain things. There'll be things that actually have to happen. So for instance, at the end of every month, there's payroll. There's no getting away from it. You can't change the day. So that is something that has to be prioritized for the end of the month, but you don't have to work on it during the beginning of the month. That's a very basic example, but essentially you need to prioritize what's important to you in your business. And the way I would encourage you to look at this is not only your daily tasks to run the business and be in the business working on it, but also, can you prioritize one action a day that moves the business forward to their next level, to the next goal, your next vision in mind? Is there an action you can take every day, despite how busy you are, that will just move that needle forward? And prioritize that within your list of things to do. And we all have things to do all of the time, and it can get very, very overwhelming. But that leads me on to my third point: avoiding distractions, because when you are overwhelmed, you can tend to procrastinate and basically get distracted really blimmin' easily. I am the master of procrastination, by the way. Unless I've got a deadline, things won't get done to a timely fashion because I need deadlines. When I've got a deadline, I work to it absolutely 100%. I won't be late. However, I can get distracted very, very easily, particularly, and you might find this, I obviously have to post on social media quite a lot for various businesses. So I find myself being on social for that and then getting sucked in by the feed. And it can be like that if you want to schedule out some content on your social, some brand awareness, some sales posts, whatever it might be. You can then get sucked into scrolling, and next thing you know, you've lost 10 minutes or 10 hours, whatever, whatever is you. And that can be just purely because you're allowing yourself to be distracted. And unfortunately, that's not the best idea when you're trying to have great time management and you've got little time anyway. So the best way is to avoid distractions, and the best way to do that, and what I've started to do, is turn my phone on to its airplane mode, so you get no distractions during certain particular things. Not opening my emails, because again, that's a really, really annoying one. You get an email ping up and you want to reply straight away. Well, you don't have to reply straight away. So get over it, turn your emails off while you're doing something that needs your complete focus. So for me, it could be creating content, creating an email, creating a blog. It could be writing some web copy. If someone's pinging in emails, you can get taken away from your train of thought, your level of focus, and you get sucked in again to distractions. Something else to be mindful of is setting some boundaries around this, because what I find my husband gets dragged into is allowing the staff to dictate his time. It's something we've spoken about, and I say spoken, probably argued about more like, is the fact that he has very poor boundaries when it comes to the staff. So they will pull him in different directions, and that is being allowed, which again takes him off the real business at hand. So I would also check out my podcast about boundaries, which works very well with this to help reduce distractions by setting some important boundaries. Number 4 is delegation. So can you delegate better? Can you delegate more stuff to other people? Can you outsource? I mean, this is what I am now looking at, outsourcing some of the stuff that I cannot do quickly. So there's a lot of things I can do, but there's a lot of stuff that I can do that I don't like doing, and there's a lot of stuff that I can do, but I do so slowly, it'd be much better, cost effective, time effective to pass to somebody who could do it quickly. What Mia is very good at, and Charlotte was also excellent at, is using Canva. Now I can use Canva, it just takes me hours to do one thing. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be delegating going forward to an outsourced person. And I think if you look at your business in a realistic way, are you spending time on tasks that A, is not a business owner task, B, is something that you can do, but it takes you a lot of time, so it's not time effective, or B, is it something that you can do, but you don't really want to do, so it takes more time because you just don't want to do it, so you put it off, put it off, put it off. Can you outsource it to somebody that will make, it's going to be so much better because it frees up your time? And I know people say, yeah, but it costs money. Time is money. If you are not utilizing your time to the best of its ability, you're wasting money and costing money. So you might as well get rid of the stuff you don't want to do and pay for the privilege of having it done, so you can focus on the stuff you're really good at. So I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but being in your zone of genius, you need to spend more time in that zone, doing the things that you love, are passionate about, and are exceptionally good at. That's where you should be spending more time. And as a business owner, you need to make sure you schedule time to work on the business rather than being pulled in the business all of the time. And this is what I see with a lot of landscaping companies, including my own. We get pulled in to working in the business so that you don't work on the business as often, and then things slip, fall behind, and you then have to firefight your way out of situations and issues. So I would say outsourcing and delegation is key to getting your time back. Like I said, you can't magically add more hours to the day, but you can claw time back if you get rid of the crap you don't want to deal with yourself, stuff that can be done quicker by somebody else. But obviously check your cash flow that you can afford it. I would often say even if you think you're not sure if you can afford it, what's the time saving you can get back from that, and where can you spend that time? Could you make more money doing something else than doing that thing? A lot of the time it can be your bookkeeping and accounting. Just get it over to an accountant, then they can deal with that if that's not your forte. However, if it is your forte, that's different. So you've got to be mindful of what your zone of genius is. What do you love doing? What are you passionate about? But don't get all obsessed about control. I think sometimes as business owners, you want to control everything because that's where you started. And as you begin to grow, you hate to relinquish control. I'm a control freak myself. So part of me is actually going to enjoy being on my own again because I am in full control. But I know it can't stay like that for long. Otherwise, I will not be able to move forward in my business. So bear that in mind when you're looking at delegation and outsourcing. And my fifth thing is, you need to be mindful of you time. So many people, like I said, my non-negotiable is going to the gym. Now I go to the gym 5 days a week. It's a non-negotiable. I make it happen. I book the kids into kids clubs if I haven't got childcare, i.e. if Mike's not here. And I make time to go, whether it's during the day, during the evening, or at weekends. It's just a non-negotiable. It happens regardless. I make it happen. And that's what you've got to think of. What is an activity that makes you feel good? So improve your well-being, which will in turn improve your mental clarity. It will improve your focus, and it will help you do your job better and run your business better. So do not think that you have to be working like a dog and pushing yourself to breaking point to be a success. You don't. And I think it's more key to make sure you're focusing on your health and your well-being in order to have a healthy, successful and profitable business. So you need to keep one eye on what you like doing. If you're a runner, for instance, make sure you are going for that run. Do not say, I haven't got time for that, because ultimately we all have time. Recently, I had someone say they don't have time to do the course to set up a successful business. And I would argue that if you don't have time to set up a successful business, then how are you going to actually have a successful business? And ultimately, you make time for things that are important to you. So you make time for yourself, you make time for your family, you make time to do that course or learn that thing or bother to research something so that you can outsource to the right person. You make the time to essentially give yourself back some time and to keep yourself healthy and your mental well-being at its peak, because there's no point in you not being healthy and well and trying to run a business. It doesn't work. If you are ill, you can't work. If you are mentally struggling, you are not going to be able to make decisions as well as you could if you're in your best self, your best well-being. So it's really key. So, you know, some people spend 3 hours a night on the TV, or they, you know, some people say they don't have time to go to the gym or go swimming or go out with friends, but they will happily find a way to watch EastEnders every night. I mean, does EastEnders even still exist? I don't know. I haven't watched TV in a very long time. Don't get me wrong. I love a film on Netflix every now and again. But I haven't actually watched TV or soaps for like years. So just think about what you're doing. So I'm all for switching off in the evenings. And if that is Netflix and chill, or if that is a soap, fine. But don't tell me you haven't got time to do something that makes you feel good, i.e. go and get some exercise, or you haven't got time to prep your food to make sure you're eating healthy, to make sure your body stays healthy, your mind stays focused and on it. And don't tell me you haven't got time to do that thing that will make you get to the next level. So you haven't got time to do that course, rubbish. You make time for that course. If it's learning something, you make time to learn something. If it's researching something, or, you know, doing some strategy for your business, you make time, because that's going to push the needle forward and help you elevate yourself and your business. So they're my 5 things, you know, and I just hate the excuse, I don't have time. I used to sell gym memberships in a previous life. One of my favorite jobs, actually, because as you all know, I actually do love health and fitness and exercise and the gym, stuff like that. I can see the benefits. I love it. So selling it was quite easy because it was something I was passionate about and I was into, and it was great. But the amount of times people said they didn't have time to go to the gym, but yet they would go home, drink 3 or 4 beers and sit there watching numerous soaps. It just blew my mind, because you've got to make time for the things that are important, and most importantly, the things that are going to make you feel your best self. It's all about feeling your best so that you can be your best, so you can make your best decisions, build your best business, and live your best life. That is the aim of the game. The game of life is to live your best life, your happiest life, your most joyful life. And part of that comes down to your well-being and making sure you make time for yourself, doing the things that make you feel good and make you feel motivated. There's loads of more stuff I could talk to you about today on this podcast, but that is it today for time management. 5 things that might help, or this might just be a wake-up call to get to the gym or do something that makes you feel good. You don't all have to go to the gym if you don't want to, although I advocate that kind of life. If you need help with the productivity planner, go get it. If you've got any questions, drop me an email on info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. If you want to join TLC, I mean, there's loads of topics in there. If you're looking to learn more about marketing, growing your business, cash flow forecasting, GDPR, health and safety, employment law, pop yourself on the waiting list, because you will get a lovely goal setting planner for the rest of the year. And you will also be first in the know when we open our doors, and it is sooner than you think that we're going to be opening. So that's quite exciting, because it's going to be a whole brand new offering to new members, and all my lovely existing members get to come on the journey as well. So get on the wait list if that's what you're looking for. If you're an existing TLC member, go check out the mindset and planning topic if you haven't already, because that might just motivate you and boost you up into getting the next stuff done, getting your action plan together. And also, if you are a brand new business or you're thinking of starting your business, you do need to be on our From the Ground Up course. It starts on Monday, the 12th of September. Our first cohort starts on Monday, which is super exciting for me and Kate. It's something I'm really passionate about, helping people in the landscaping and garden design areas grow their businesses, develop their businesses, build their businesses. And if you're at the very start, set up your business. So if that's you, if you're at the very start of your journey, go check out the course From the Ground Up. There are still a few spaces left. If you've got any questions, again, email me, info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. The link to the From the Ground Up page for more information will be in the show notes. And yeah, you've got until Sunday to join. So I do hope, if you've been thinking about it and you've been thinking you've got no time to do it, this is your wake-up call. You have got time if you make the time. This is a course that is to be fit around you and your commitments. So we do not expect you to finish it in any sort of time frame. We are always here on the support email regardless. We are just wanting you to take the first step, get on board, and then we can help you and support you through the 6 modules in order to get your business set up and ideally getting your first few clients. So that's it from me today. I hope I haven't rambled too much. I've quite enjoyed it. So I will be back next week. I don't know what I'll be talking about, so it's a big surprise. Anyway, I will see you next week, guys. Have a fantastic week, and please do leave a 5-star review on Spotify if you love this episode. Do send me your feedback if you love it. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. It just helps me get in front of more people like you that run their landscape and garden design businesses. And that's my mission, to help as many of you guys as possible build your businesses, grow your businesses, and live a successful and joyful life. That's it. See you later, guys.